Morning, everyone. Kevin the Toy Smuggler here. And today I am going to talk about sculpting mediums. And this is kind of going to be a part one and might be a part two and part three to this. And the reason I'm doing this, YouTube fan Matt Hall, he suggested I start doing a few little episodes on different sculpting with wax and stuff. So, as far as an intro, I thought I'd just kind of talk about all the different mediums that I normally sculpt with before I get into. I got to get everything set up for the wax and everything. Get ready to got a new phone, getting ready to get set up where I can go live anywhere I want to be. So that's going to be cool. So to kind of start off with the picture, been working on a Han Solo head. Piddling on that for a little while. And this is straight out of wax, and it's already I've had it now for I've been working on it probably a good year, and I sculpt out of my own homemade wax. You can see already how different where I've kept it near a window. It's already sucked all the color out of it and everything like that. Smells wonderful, by the way. And the best place to get a recipe for sculpting, it's not just plain old candles. You can go to YouTube, type in the name Scott Hensley, an amazing sculptor. He worked on a lot of the original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and stuff like that. But anyway, there's a perfect recipe where you can make your own homemade carving wax. And this was something I didn't think I ever would get involved in. It just seemed like I never considered myself a carver. But I will have to say, wax is probably one of my most favorite mediums to sculpt at, just because of the extra amazing sharp detail you can. I mean, because look at this, guys. I mean, you get it there and really get it good and clean. You can buff it. I mean, you can definitely tell this is when I heard that all major professional toys back in the day, this was like the final process. And I never understood it until I did it a few times. Like, wow, I get it now why they do that. So, and that's something I'm probably going to be doing. Well, the next item, I'll set it up with that. Sorry, guys, I'm needing coffee bad today. I got up early to do some work. Real quick, I'll give you a quick update. Planet of the Apes characters. Here's where they're at right now. My order from CTV Toys should be coming in today. I should be getting all of his accessories and the soldiers and stuff like that. And the Cornelius body. I just got to do a little bit more cleaning on him. But now he's back to having an original body, restrung and everything. So that's great. Now, the other medium that I found out just before using this wax was this stuff right here. Because a monster clay. And there's different versions of this. I use the medium. I've yet to use the hard. And I'd like to try to get a bucket of hard. But the great, amazing thing about this stuff, you get it, and it's a big, huge. You can take this tub and just throw it in the microwave and get it down to a liquid, stir it up, and I mean it'd be almost like milk. And that's just amazing because you can pour it in a mold, pop it out, and then do some even more fine tuning. But this stuff right here, it's kind of like a Play-Doh feel, a little bit stiffer than Play-Doh though. But you can put this under a heat lamp about 2 foot above it. And set it. I usually get a box and put aluminum foil around it, put it in a heat lamp, and this stuff stays soft, man. You can really tread through a lot. If you got something big you got to do, and you really need to girth it out really fast, this is your product you want to use, because once you get it soft, man, you can just work with it so fast. And then after you're working with it, boom, within a few minutes later, like 10 minutes later, it's getting down, and it does get pretty dang. Let me get a piece in here. See this piece right here? That is pretty dang hard. And this is the medium kind, so I could imagine what the hard kind would be like. But if you're a new sculptor and stuff, this is a great, because there's just so many versatilities. Like I said, you can let it get stiff, you can get it soft, you can get it to a melting point, just whatever your consistency you need to help with your project. You got that ability with it. So I really have to say a lot of amazing things about, and this is better probably for your bigger pieces versus your smaller. Now we get down to the little tiny pieces. I would assume if you're doing something more like a small action figure, or say if you was going to sculpt like an 8-inch scale head or smaller, I would probably say the the Monster Clay Hard would probably be your best choice, because I know how the medium feels, and the smaller you get, you want it to be harder so you can really capture those fine details. And the other product I use, and I remember learning about this stuff, I guess I've been sculpting now 10 years, and I learned about this stuff about nearly 8 years ago. Magic Sculpt. Man, now this is a coup de grace product as far as durability. I mean, because the worst thing that you deal with when you're sculpting, we're using all these other kind of clays, especially the polymer clays like what is that junk? Because I don't even use it no more. Just your basic Hobby Lobby sculpting clay is just that stuff over time. When it gets hot, it gets cold, it just cracks. And this stuff is just tough as nails. And this is where I don't know if it'll stick on this head or not. Let's see here. Yeah, just like I said, I changed the neck head. But anyway, this is where I've done for the deaf dealer. And this is where I'm at. Okay, I'll know how to, because I'm afraid I'm going to drop it, which it's pretty tough. So I'm not too afraid that I'd hurt it, but still, I want to take the chance. There we go. Now I feel a little bit more comfortable about this. But this stuff, it's almost like a stone feel when you're done, and you can scratch on it, you can carve on it, you can just really dig some good tight detail. But mostly, I do not use this for like if you're doing a human's face. I do not use this for that. I use this for when we're bulking out the body, or anything that needs to be, like if you need to make a shield or a sword. This is your go-to stuff. Armor, and when I get ready to make the armor for the deaf dealer, this is the stuff I'm going to use, because when you get done, you can really handle it. You can get rough with it. I mean, the weakest part of this is obviously the horns. You don't want to get too rough, but the rest of it is pretty daggum tough. So that's the amazing part of this stuff, is its durability. And then if you're doing like an action figure, say if I was going to design an 8-inch scale statue, you have your armature skeleton, now your wire. This stuff is really great on putting on the inside of it, because it really keep it stiff and durable so nothing breaks. And I mean, it's just amazing stuff to use. Like I said, it's just tough as nails, and I couldn't tell you how many times I've dropped a piece on hardwood floors and it just goes skipping across, and you just buff it a little bit and you're good to go. So but that's the 3 things I do. And I would also suggest too, if you're looking at getting into sculpting, don't concern yourself with high dollar tools. The amazing thing about sculpting, get you just a good old fashioned cheap X-Acto knife. You can find these for a couple dollars. Definitely needed. And you can go to Hobby Lobby, and for like 15 or 20 bucks, I think it's like 20 bucks time you get, but you can get it. I think they're like $18, and it's a big pack of like 16 pieces or something like that. And then if you use the 40% discount coupon, you can get it around $10, and you get like 16 different pieces. And all it is just different little spades. Start with these cheaper sets. They're great. They last forever. You get a little drill. And what I did I don't like the drills on these things. So what I actually did is bought a real pack of drill bits, and I got the smallest one because you use these a lot. And what I did, I pulled their little crappy drill bit out and super glued mine in. so that's the only thing. That's the rest of it, the rakes and all that other stuff is really good. But I'd say that the only crappy one is the drill bit. Looks like it's like a die cast metal or aluminum tin mixture or something like that. So either way, it's not good quality, but and stuff like that. But what I'm going to be doing here shortly is we'll be sometime maybe later this week. I'm going to set everything up to where I can get it's a wax pen, and actually it's a dental tool, and I have 2 different settings, 2 different wands on electrical cords, and I will show you how you can. I usually keep a real fine pencil tip, and then I keep like what you call a spoon tip. That's the only 2 tips I use. I've tried using all the others, and those are my go-to. So and then the smaller, the lower the temperature, the bigger for the scoop. If I need to melt and put a big block, like if I was going to do an ear, I'd put a whole bunch of wax in that one spot, and then go in and let it cool, and then come in and carve that ear out. That sounds tedious, but I'm here to tell you, it's so much easier and here's the cool thing. If this was polymer clay, you couldn't do this, because if you do this right here, you would just screw everything you worked up. When you're working in wax, after a few minutes, you can actually touch it and you're not going to. So that means you can hold this piece like this and hand carve on this ear without messing up the other ear. So that's the beauty of it. And like I said, I didn't ever quite understand that until actually I got into it. And if I get a chance, I will dig out my first. I actually carved my first piece was the Indiana Jones 6-inch scale. So I'll get that out and show you guys what it looked like the first time I ever used a wax pen. And I've been doing this now roughly 3 years. I've been doing wax. So I started off just like with regular polymer clay, and this plain Sculpting, and I hate Sculpting. There's nothing about Sculpting I like. It's just to me it's a very cheap form of clay, and I do not recommend it for only thing I would recommend it for a beginner is you get the flesh kind and use it to only sculpt like faces, and don't worry about cooking it. Take it, then you mold it, then you pour it in wax and go from there. So that's be the only thing, but I hardly ever even use it for that. I usually just go to the monster clay now, because I can work just as quick with the monster clay as I can the Sculpting clay. So that's my that's just my preference. I suggest to you try a little of all of it, and it might be different from you. So this is just my opinion. Like I said, I've been sculpting 10 years now, doing started mostly with statues. And don't start, I will say this much, if you're a beginner, do not start with sculpting action figures. Start with sculpting statues. Action figures, that's a whole new ball game as far as mechanics and stuff. And I didn't bring it in here, but I mentioned in the past, you can look at my past video. Sebastian Jordell. Hey, good morning, everybody. See what everybody got to say here. Milliput is, yeah, Milliput's not bad. Milliput, I will say this, because that's kind of like the UK version of this stuff. They're very similar. I mean, here in the United States, we got something that's probably closer to Milliput than this, but I just don't ever use it because Milliput, it comes in smaller quantities. Where this, you can get this in a 1 pound, and it's normally pushing $20 to get it like that, to get 2 pounds worth. And I get 2.5 and 2.5 and pay $50, which makes it $10 a pound. Versus if you get it, it's a half a pound, versus paying $20 for 1 pound. So I get it in bulk, get it these 5 pound packages. That way I'm only paying $10 a pound, so to speak. So, because you'll go through this stuff a lot quicker than what you think. So, but I would suggest only getting the 1 pound deal for $20. Try it. The only thing is when you mix these, and I'll kind of do this too. You guys, hope you guys are doing all right and enjoying these live feeds and everything. And guys, if you got any suggestion like Matt Hall did, he asked me this yesterday about doing starting these kind of a series here. But it's a hard putty and a very sticky putty. I mean, it is nasty sticky. I mean, it is. And if it feels like it's sticking to your hands, either you can dip your fingers in water or go ahead and pre-treat your fingers with baby powder, something like that. And this stuff, you'll see it kind of gets a little yellow. That's no big deal. Don't worry about it. What I usually do, if I got some of it and it's already kind of yellowed out a little bit, you just get the amount you think you want and go ahead and just pre-work it. And all that is, it's the oils coming out of it and the chemicals that stuff are in it. It's all this. So you just remash it up, and within a few minutes, it blends all back together and goes away. And all you do, guys, you don't need a measuring tool. But you just take how much you think you need, and you kind of divide that in your half in your head, and you mix one up. And what I usually do is the stiff clay, pancake it out, get the same size ball of the other one, and then take that ball and stick it in this one, then start mixing it up. You want the sticky on the inside. It just makes it much easier to start mixing it all up. And here's the kicker on this stuff. This is the only negative thing about this. As soon as you mix it up, it's go time. You got roughly depending on the more you have, technically the less time you have. So keep it small amounts, because and the other thing is, when you mix this stuff together, you want to pancake it flat. And a lot of times I keep a small bowl of water, and if I got any sizable amount, I pancake it out and let it set into the water. That keeps the clay cool and slows down the catalyst. Because if you keep this stuff rolled up into a ball, and you got a ball like this, it says you got 2 hours before it cures. But I'm here to tell you, if you got a ball about 1.5 inches, 2 inches big around, you got 30 minutes, and that sucker's a brick. I'm here to tell you. So that's the only negative thing. You got to learn to sculpt fast. So for you new guys, if you decide to get into this, I would let this kind of like be your last thing you start playing with and practicing with, because it's just, it will aggravate you because when you first start out sculpting, you're going to be slow. So don't get involved in something that's going to, like this, and trying to sculpt action figures. You want to kind of leave that toward the end. And the other thing I didn't bring out here, but I mentioned it in a prior video about a month ago, is the book called Pop Sculpture. It'll run you about 30-35 bucks. Go to your local Books of Me and eBay or whatever. You can find. You will not find it sitting in a store. This is a book that you have to order. But I'm telling you, if you are serious about doing sculpting, Solo, hey, good morning. Glad you can join us this morning. I like that, Solo 3PO. That's cool. I had never heard of that. Awesome name. Awesome name. Love the classic Star Wars. And so if you're very new at sculpting, stay away from the difficult part, but get this book. This book will save you so much aggravation. It is worth every penny of that $30 to $35. So I'm here to tell you, because I sculpted several years not knowing anybody sculpts. There wasn't many sculpting videos on YouTube and stuff like that. And when I finally got that book, all the headaches that I was, roadblocks that I was coming across, that book really shed a big, huge light and everything. So it's an amazing book, and it's one that you want to pick up and go through, just before you get ready to sculpt every new piece. So that's how great it is. And it's a fun read. It's not full bunch of baloney and bullcrap. Sculptors wrote this book. So there's no literary magic going on and all the fluff that you don't need here. These guys get straight to the point. They make it light, fun. This is a great book for us guys who don't want to sit there and read a damn novel and a bunch of crap that you don't want to hear. So thank you so much. I'm glad you enjoy this. Like I said, I know I'm a little bit different than your other toy guys. I throw a lot of artistic stuff in here. Like I said, I make movies. I've done pro wrestling. So I hope everybody enjoys my channel. Just for the Matt Hall made a comment. He called me yesterday, or we was texting yesterday. He said that, I offer a good mixture of entertainment. It's not just, grab a toy and talking about a toy, which, like He-Man and Star Wars and stuff, most all of us has the same kind of toys there. But, these are an oddball, and I don't like really doing a review where you're sitting there. I hate these Black Series videos where they're talking about the articulation. Well, every damn one of them's got about the same articulation, and you really feel like you have to go through every little joint. And it just, like I said, I used to watch that stuff, and I have so grown past that because I just don't find any entertainment value with it at all. See, Star Wars 77, my favorite. Yeah, I mean, that classic. And guys, just like the Planet of the Apes, what makes Star Wars and the Planet of the Apes so great is that they were on a limited budget. So to pull off such amazing story concepts with a limited budget, you have to rely on this little key piece of information that I'm going to say here. It's called creativity. Ooh, artistic creativity, which don't get used a whole lot nowadays. So many new movie makers and even toy makers rely so much on that digital medium to do this for them. And I'm here to tell you, a computer can only do what you tell it to do. So, and any idiot, if I go over here and push a button, and one of you guys come over here and push the same button, let's see here. The same thing's going to happen. There's not going to look different. There's no These thing has artistic imprint. You look at the original design for Star Wars. What do you see? You see Ralph McQuarrie's artwork. You see his feel. You look at the Clash of the Titans. You see oh gosh, I went blank on his name here. Ray Harryhausen. You can see these artists, and you can see their hand and their mind had such an influence. That's why they look different. That's why they feel different. Unfortunately, with the new digital age that we live in, we can't see the artists because all of them look the same, because they're all pushing the same buttons. And that's why I feel somewhere down the line here, sculpting back with these materials and stuff like this is what's going to bring toys back to life, is guys like us, the Shiflett brothers, they're coming in. You'll see the artist comes out, and that's what you guys truly love at the end of the day. When you look at something, you're thinking you're looking at a toy. No, you're seeing what was inside that artist's mind, his heart and soul, coming out through the toy medium. That's what makes He-Man, the original Star Wars, even though they're the limited, the 5-point POA of the original Star Wars figures, but you sit there and you hold one in your hand, and there's just something mystical and simple about these designs. And that's what it is, guys. You're holding a true piece of artwork, not some digital button guy pushing buttons. That's the difference. That's the difference in why, even though these new ones have all this hyper articulation and photorealism, but you stand it up to that classic toy. That's the difference between an image and something toyetic. That's the difference, guys. That's the magic. See here. Not too much creativity around in the new Star Wars movie. No, all they did is took what happened in the old movies and changed it up a little bit and then botched the hell out of it, if you ask me. It's just like, really? You couldn't figure out anything else to do than to blow up another Death Star? Really? Come on, guys. I mean, you talk about, let's play it safe. Oh my God, wow, I didn't think you can screw up a Star Wars movie, but boy, they proved this proved this wrong for sure. You can really screw one up. Well, yeah, there's some of the, I like the Solo movie, and I love Rogue One. But here's the thing. But those movies are kind of inside of a block. If you still go out of that block, it just totally don't work. And I know a lot of people pick the hell out of the Solo movie. And I say, if you have not watched it, rent it. Go to a Redbox, rent it. It is worth watching. I'm here to tell you, if you loved Rogue One, you'll like Solo. And I get why you don't like the trilogy movies. I'm right there with you on the new trilogy stuff. I own them, but I don't love them. Now, Rogue One, out of all of them, Rogue One I think was the best. And that whole ending of Rogue One, when they lead up with Darth Vader just kicking everybody's butt. Now, that's how you end a Star Wars movie right there. Bottom line. 7 Voyages, Sinbad was badass, and I couldn't agree with you 100%, brother. That is classic Ray Harryhausen at his best. I mean, that right there, it just evokes fantasy. It evokes not really sci-fi, but really that just adventure fantasy. It reminds me a lot of almost like Flash Gordon, but he's here on Earth. And when you watch those old movies, you can't help but to get on the edge of your seat and get all excited and worked up about it. And I would love, and I have thought about doing this, is get this Mego style, retro style, and do some classic Sinbad toys and stuff like that. So that's something I thought about doing, but I got to check in and see what the rights are, who owns the rights on a lot of that crap. It's that stuff. It really, either it's back in public domain or some bigger company bought it out and you never know who it was. So that's something I thought about doing in the future, is doing some stuff like that. And I'm actually incorporating a little bit of that into the Starman book that me and Tim Smith are working on. So remember the scene of the skeleton. I don't know if it's Sinbad, but this is the back row. Oh gosh, guys, I need so much more coffee this morning. But you remember those movies of Campbell, and he had the skeletons with the sword and the shields. We got something very similar that we're bringing into the storyline. I'm actually just waiting before some of the pieces come in. So hopefully tomorrow I'll have a prototype of our skeleton warrior. So if my stuff gets delivered today, I will show you that either later tonight or tomorrow and tease you with what some of that looks like. Jason and the Argonauts. Yes, all those movies, guys. If you want to get in, if you want to learn how to write movies or write a comic book and stuff, I really suggest you go back and watch Sinbad, Jason and the Argonauts, anything. Just look up Ray Harryhausen, find out every movie that he's ever did. Go back and watch those movies. That's where you will see the true masters of creating stories and creating monsters and how to bring it in. And guys, that was the precept to everything that we know of today. This is what George Lucas used to study before he wrote Star Wars. All this stuff, he was obsessed with this stuff. That's what created Star Wars. So, and that's what I keep telling people. You can't study who's hot today or the new movie today and think you're going to have the mindset and the heart to create the next best thing. Study the past. Go back, study the early things that Lucas did, find out what he studied and go back and start studying that. And then if you go back and watch documentaries on Ray Harryhausen, you sit there and he'll tell you who he used to idolize and study. And you go back and study those guys. And I know it sounds like, well, Kevin, that just sounds like a lot of work. But I'm here to tell you guys, yes, it's a lot of work. But when you're doing something that you love and you have a passion for it, I don't care what kind of amount of work that lays in front of you. I have spent tens and thousands of hours sculpting, but guess what? It's not work. I love doing it. And if you want to be good and get better, you have to put in the time, folks. It's not work if you have the passion. If you don't have the passion, yes, it's work. So, see here. Still remember the skeleton warriors from Jason, but the Hydra, that was just incredible. Yes, I mean, there's so many amazing creatures that guy created is just insane. And like I said, and I would love to go back and recreate that whole entire every monster here made. I'd love to make an action figure of that. That would be this completely and totally amazing. So, but guys, I'm getting ready to get out of here in a couple minutes. If you guys got any suggestions, hold it real quick. See, I have the 3D HD Rogue One. It is amazing. Yes, I mean, Rogue One just truly embodied the original spirit of Star Wars. And like I said, and if anybody of y'all hadn't seen that, go watch it. It is that, and it gives Solo a chance. I'm gonna say, give it a chance. It's Ron Howard. What made me go watch that movie, because I was on the fence and want to go watch it. But I watched the interview of Ron Howard like 2 days before I went and watched it. And Ron said that all I wanted to do was make a fun summer Star Wars movie. And I was like, boom, that sold it for me. And I went and watched it. And guess what? It was just a fun movie. It wasn't spectacular. It wasn't mind-blowing or over emotional. It was just a fun Star Wars movie. And that's what all I'm saying, that it brought to the table what it said it was going to bring to the table. El Rodimus, good morning, brother. How you doing today? Let's see, Sinbad. Let's see, jumped up. Good. I'm glad you let me know that. Public domain. That means I can do something. Let's see. It was an exception. The new main trilogy was a letdown, in my opinion. Sebastian, I agree. I couldn't agree with you more. It was the new trilogy was just. I wish I can say something nice, but it was just and it is so unfortunate considering the director, J.J. Abrams, was involved, and he can do so much better than that. And what the sad part is, when he worked on the Star Trek movie, I thought that was one of the greatest Star Trek movies ever made. I thought it was just great all the way around, action-packed, great storytelling. Everything that, Star Trek needed, he delivered. And for some reason, he just totally dropped the ball on it. And I'm pretty sure that there's a lot with the whole Disney bosses involved that probably said, do this, do that, do this, do that, that kept him maybe from doing what he originally wanted to do. But at the end of the day, the problem with the whole trilogy is no one took the pre-written outline for the future of Star Wars that Lucas did, and they just wanted to do their own thing. And as we have seen, that did not work. And look who is involved with the Mandalorian now. Lucas. Favreau's got Lucas right there, right on set, guiding him. Boom. That's what's going to make Mandalorian successful. Bottom line, you take the original creator. That's who you bring. And then true. And I know what's his name when I can't. He's not even worth even mentioning. The second director, when Luke Skywalker himself is on set with you, and he comes up to you, man, this don't make no sense. You got a problem. See here. Yeah, they're just amazing. Well, guys, I hate to cut you guys off. So if you have any suggestions for anything, any topic that you want me to do for you guys, boom, just shoot it to me. Let me know. Please share this video. Let people know about the Toy Smuggler. I'm trying to push that 1,000 subscription marker. And guys, just want to grow this channel. And thank you so much for taking time out these crazy early mornings, but I'm here in the future, may start doing things around the 8, 9 o'clock at night. So please, anybody as you're watching this, if you would like to see me start doing videos around 8:30 at night, let me know. If you think that'd be a lot better for you guys, just let me know and I'll make the change. So I'm just trying to see what works out best. Still, I'm having fun with this live stuff, getting to see and get to know you guys. Yeah, have a great day, guys. And like I said, thank you all for joining me this morning. It means a lot to me. Guys, y'all have a great, safe day. I'm the Toy Smuggler. Take it easy.